Hello, all you wonderful people, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Hostile Lands. In the last episode, we got quite a bit done getting ourselves set up with an XP farm so that we can finally mend up our tools and make use of all the good mending stuff that we're getting from all of these villagers and the different trades that we have, making sure that we keep things nice and fresh. And now we're just down here kind of working on the trading hall, as it's going to be needing a massive upgrade now that the stuff that we're going to be getting from these guys is going to be much more usable. So we're down here lighting up the caves, clearing out the mobs, trying to get it all set to go so that there's not too much going on around the outside of it. And it looks like we found ourselves a spawner. What is that one? Spider? Don't really care much for a spider one. I already have one of those, but not bad thing to find. And that is fantastic. Notch apple to the side, even though that was a fantastic find, we are going to be getting back to exactly what today's episode is primarily about, and that is doing a massive overhaul and upgrade to our villager trading hall. It needs some work. I have some of the function in place, but it looks really rough. It is not a beautiful place to be by any means. So let's go ahead and get started on working on that. I've already done some behind the scenes, so let me show you what we have. Changed our little access port over here so that I have a bubble elevator going up, and the hall is looking nice. Got some centerpieces in here, some archways. I think it looks pretty good. I like the color scheme, and I definitely like having the different light sources in here. I've gone ahead and made it so that it's perfectly centered coming down here. I think that this looks really good, and I'm enjoying the designing of this area. But all these guys are in here locked away. I don't know how many of them you've seen on camera so far, but this entire side is completely full. I have myself a pretty good mixture of farmers and clerics over there, but this side is really where it is all about. This is what I was looking for, and we got our librarians on this side with a bunch of these different trades that are very essential to gameplay. And so those were definitely a priority of mine. I still have a few more trades that I don't yet have here, and some trades that I would like to improve, but I've run out of space in here. So really it's going to be important that we expand this, because not only could I use some more of the different enchantments, but I also could use some more villagers to trade with, because right now I have primarily farmers, and I don't have any automatic farms, so trading with them is kind of difficult right now. So out this back area that you're seeing, I'm thinking that's probably a good space to go ahead and expand. So that's probably going to be the next section of this trading hall to change, is getting that set up, as well as changing the left side to match the right once I get a few more glow ink sacks, so that I can make everything in here look nice and pretty and get all of the function in place. So let's go ahead and get started on that right now. But before we go ahead and make any more progress on the trading hall, since it is at a pretty good point, there is something I have been severely neglecting. And what that is getting myself covered in beautiful, shiny blue diamond armor. I definitely need to get this going, but I very intentionally wait for a certain point in the game before I actually start doing this. I know many of you probably have looked at my guy so far and been like, why do you have all these diamonds and are not using them? This is exactly the reason. When I'm in the early game, iron works just fine for me. Is it a little weaker? Yes. Does it last as long? No. It can be a little bit more of a challenge, but it's not that much greater of a challenge in the early game when you put it directly next to the idea that you may be losing your diamond armor and not have enough diamonds yet to replace that armor. In the early game, you're doing a lot of different things that you don't have to worry as much about later on, like your first trips to the Nether, where you're not really sure where anything is, and trying to fend off and make different areas secure within fortresses, and going on long adventures far, far away from your spawn point. There's many different things in the early game that could potentially take your life. I've been very fortunate so far, but it is always possible. Since I'm not much of a gambler, I try and hold off until I have for sure mending if not also Unbreaking 3, before I actually start crafting up my diamond armor, just to give me the best chance possible about being able to hold on to it. As you go around and you're taking damage, you're fighting mobs, it weakens your armor pretty significantly over time, and if you do not have a way to replenish that, you are just asking to be throwing away those diamonds, and when you don't have enough to craft up another set of armor, that can be a serious problem. So rather than relying on that, I stick with the iron armor and diamond tools until I have the proper enchantments to go ahead and get myself going. But now that we have all of those things, let's go ahead, finish getting all of this enchanted so that we can finally start rocking that shiny blue diamond armor like everybody wants to see. Now, don't we just look beautiful? That is what I am talking about. It feels so good to finally get that diamond armor on for the first time in a new world. This is fantastic. And now, hopefully, because of the strategies that I try and put forward into how I use my diamonds, we should never have to return to iron ever again. I'm sick of iron. But I've done quite a bit more work down here. Let me go ahead and show you what it is that we have done. So you already saw that I have all of these different clerics and farmers and people all situated back here, which is looking good, making sure everyone's still there and hasn't been killed behind the scenes. But over here, we finally got this strip above their heads all sorted out, got all the signs in so that they're labeled exactly what they are, and I got some different colored lettering on the signs, which makes it a little easier for me to read when you combine it with the glow ink sacks. But the majority of what's been done is actually behind this wall. That's right, I went ahead and did exactly what we were talking about, and I expanded this. I actually doubled it in size, so now instead of just having the first 20 villagers, we can now have a capacity of up to 40 villagers down here in this area, which is going to help out immensely. Not only does that let me have more of the librarians to get some really good trades on different enchantments and different things that I'm going to be needing, it also lets me get more variety in the types of trades that are down here so that I have more methods of making emeralds. Some of my big farms are coming down the pike here that I have set in motion, but for now I have some Fletchers, some stonemasons, some different types of villagers down here that I can get some emeralds from while those projects are underway. I added a few more clerics in here since I do have the gold farm, and when you weaken them with the zombies and bring them back, they will trade gold for 1 ingot. As well as over here you can see that we have some toolsmiths, and they have a very special trade that's going to be very useful in the next episode. So definitely keep an eye out for that, because that's going to be turning this area into a massive emerald factory. And that is exactly what we are wanting out of this situation. I'm still eating the chicken that I have, which is great, but really I want to be eating golden carrots. It's one of my favorite choices of food in the game, and to be able to consistently do that, I'm going to need a large supply of emeralds. So let's go ahead and turn this into something significantly more productive and just a little bit more beautiful. Now that we have 40 villagers in place and we have quite a bit of the things that we are needing, it's time to make this look a little bit better over here, because let's face it, it's looking pretty rugged. I just come over here and there's just a flat platform where I drop down into the earth. I constantly will go down there, spend some time trading, come back up, and there'll be creepers and things all over the top. It's a mess. So we're going to go ahead and make this area look significantly better, at least in my opinion. So let's go ahead and hit fast forward. There we go. I think it looks significantly better, and I really like sort of the almost optical illusion that it provides, because you got this nice little quaint wizard tower, and when you go through it, there is a vast underground, and you would not really think that from looking at this small tower. But I think it looks really good. I'm really pleased with the way that this turned out, and I'm happy that this is now the proud home of all of my little villager guys. I'm sure that they would love it very much if they weren't kind of stuck behind bars in a sense. But I think it looks really good. I spent a lot of time working on the roof trying to get the right shape to it. This does have a few more things that I would like to add to it over time, but that's going to require resources from other dimensions that we have not yet been to. So for now, we're going to call this good. So now all that's really left to do is make sure that I have a easier method of getting in, because as I was working on that, I did keep getting stuck trying to go into the building, since I am using an iron door just in case any mobs do come by, and I think it looks better with the colors. But I think that slabs will fix that issue for me, since this is going straight down into the water, so that should be a little easier to get into now. Maybe not. I guess I need to figure out a better method for that. But this has been a wonderful project to work on. I may expand it in the future, but for now, this is more than what I will need. So that is fantastic. And this is where we're going to end the episode. I love you all to pieces. Thank you so much for stopping by. Keep on commenting down in the comment section. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. And I cannot wait to see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.